systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We're back here Tuesday. Massive contest tonight in the DraftKings lobby. We got a 111, 150K to first. We got a 920 live final qualifier. Tons of other massive contests here. And we got a massive slate here. And kind of we were talking, Gyiraszin, ahead of time here. This is probably the trickiest slate I've seen all season long. Pitching is pretty spread out. Hitting is spread out. It's a pretty wide open slate here. I think it's going to be a pretty low scoring slate overall, personally, is kind of how I see it. Obviously, things can change in a hurry, right? Slate can get flipped on its head in a hurry. There is a lot of high-powered offenses, right? The Yankees, the Phillies. You got the D-backs on the slate, right? The Braves. I mean, you got the Dodgers and the Mets, late-night hammer out there. And then, obviously, you got that game in Sacramento, right, with wind blown out, super warm there, minor league ballpark, and that stadium just continues to produce runs. We'll break it all down. We'll talk through it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Gyiraszin, happy Tuesday, brother. Bring you in right away. You got your Tigers gear on. I got my Brewers gear on here. Brewers, 8 straight. Tigers put a slacking on the White Sox last night. You didn't have Kerry Bonds. It was close the laptop and move on. 30% triple dong. You got to love to see that if you had them. If you faded them like myself, it didn't matter what you got right because you weren't making any money there. But what's going on, brother? Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a nice day out here in Michigan. I know everybody else where you're at, but man, it's like we used up one of our 10 nice days of the year here in Michigan. It's a beaut. Yeah, yesterday was really nice too. Got to get out and have a little fun golfing. But yeah, I mean, it's always fun breaking down some baseball. I've been seeing all them SHIPIT names up there in the spotlight, which we like to see. You know, I always like to look at that weekly tweet that goes out that breaks down all our big winners. And big 136K on top up there. We had 100K. I saw our main man was something Shank or I forgot what his name was. I saw him in the Discord at 10K last night. Congrats to you. But yeah, I mean, great times. I mean, good times. We got some golf. I saw our man Hoop. I mean, the dude just keeps shipping 50K like it's his job. But I guess it would be. I mean, I guess if you want to look at it that way, Nate. But yeah, I mean, hey, we got a good slate. Like you said, it's kind of a tricky one. I think today literally is play what you like and not really be too concerned about any kind of ownership issues. I think really the only ownership we're going to really see is probably Twins because they got that high team total. As you said, wind blown out. Oakland A's fucking bullpen sucks. And then we got a couple pitchers that'll probably get a little love. Rondon, Strider, and we'll probably see a little Hunter Green get mixed in a little bit there. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, I think it's pretty spread out. They're really, I mean, we haven't seen a slate like this in a while without, where the masses are going. So kind of interesting. Break it down. I think we'll have some fun. But, yeah, let's see what happens here tonight. I think it's going to be a good one. Like I said, I think today's the night that, I like to maybe mix up a few extra teams instead of one, just because I think it's so widespread tonight. So it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a more MME night for me, myself personally. Typically, I play 1 to 2 teams. Probably going to play a couple different teams tonight. I think I have 4 or 5 tickets in that 111 tournament tonight that I won over the last couple weeks and month or so. So looking forward to that. Hopefully, maybe I can get all the way up to the top, right? Honor my old grandpops, right? Looking down on me, little guardian angel over the shoulder here, and see if I can't get all the way home. 150 stacks up top. So that's gonna be my main focus here. And you nailed it, right? Ownership on this slate, pretty spread out. I mean, Twins obviously in terms of bats are gonna pick up some steam, but it's not gonna be like a Coors Field, right? With the Padres in Coors Field with a 8 implied run total and 30, 40, 50% ownership. I mean, some of the Twins guys might push 20%. I don't even think they come in as popular as what some of the Tigers were last night, personally, myself, with so many teams on the slate and so many high implied run totals, right? We got Fenway with good weather there. Obviously, we got Great American Small Park, 2 solid pitchers there, but it's still almost a 9 total in that one with Hunter Green and Freddie Peralta on the mound. That just shows you what the weather's like. It's hotter than balls outside here in Wisconsin, so I'm sure it's that same way there in Chicago, right? From what I'm seeing. I mean, it's just humid as can be. I know it's really humid out there in St. Louis with 2 pretty bad pitchers overall there. And then obviously, massive total out in Sacramento there. We'll do our best to break it all down there, and we'll dive right in here. Say hi to a couple people. Emin Howell in chat, Ricky Rose, Brian, Jake Swales, Cam the Man, Big Eddie, Jason Turner, everybody. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And I got to give a shout out to Schwenk Bob in the Discord.
Yeah, it's a Schwenk Bob. I couldn't remember the other part.
Yeah, his DraftKings handle is Rune Man. $15 into 10K. He threw 3 bullets, used the slate plan, listened to me and Title on the show yesterday. If you listen to the show overall, it was pretty nails. Slate plan was pretty nails as well. And turned $15 into 10K in the secondary $5 contest, not the main one that filled. He jumped in the secondary one, which was a little bit smaller entry field. I think there was 9,000 people or something in that contest. $5 and turned $15, 3 entries into 10K. So congrats to him. Congrats to all the other winners. I've seen tons of screenshots all throughout the night. Last night, I know Shalhoub had himself a pretty solid night as well. Had kind of a late run out that costed him 6 figures. But outside of that, looking forward to kind of rolling it over here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and pull our partner SaberSim up on the screen like we always do here to talk through pitching. I got the dry run and I got the dry run and exposures here up on the screen, filtered by projected score. So this is just straight projections, no SaberSim or no Saber score, nothing like that, right? Their proprietary metric there. And you see it, right? Rodon, Strider, Hunter Green. Everyone else besides that is kind of, play who you want, right? Even with those 3, you filter this ownership here to even high stakes, right? High stakes single entry stuff. Some of these guys aren't even pushing over 30%, right? Rodon, Strider, whether you want to believe it or not, I do think they come in slightly higher than that. But that just shows you that how spread out the slate is going to be in terms of ownership. So it is a slate. Play who you want, play who you like. And I think it's definitely an intriguing one for sure. So that takes me into pitching. Let's go 8K and above. Gyiraszin. You got Zach Gallen down there at 8K. Pretty tough matchup. Really hot in Atlanta as well there. He's been brutal. His walks have come tremendously up this year from what they currently are. His strikeout stuff is down. You got George Kirby in that pitcher's ballpark there against that O's team who have not been good all season long. And then at the top, right, you got Rodon, you got Hunter Green, 2 guys that are going to get played. And then Spencer Strider, right, 8,500. You think back, right, we were paying, I remember paying $12,500, $13K for Spencer Strider, right? Obviously, he's dealt with injuries. He's got a pretty tough matchup overall with the D-backs. But, man, this could be the cheapest price point you see Spencer Strider at ever in his career. So hit on this slate. I think it's a pretty loaded pitching slate overall. There's a lot of guys in general, and if you have a lean, where are you going here at the top range, 8K and above?
Yeah, we definitely got some loaded pitching. That's for sure. We got 6 dudes over 24% strikeout percentage: Rondon, Peralta, Green, Strider, and Sanchez. But starting from the bottom there at 8K, Zach Gallen, he's broken or something. I don't know what's going on with him. I'm not even going to be too concerned. That dude's just been a mess all season. Looking at his game log, he's just been god-awful. 1.8 points, 3 points, 7 points his last 4 starts. That's an easy pass for me. George Kirby, I think he's broken again himself. He's been getting beat up. His last start, he gave 3 home runs. He's given up 11 earned runs since he's come back from an injury. I think it's still kind of like his spring training, basically. So Kirby for me is if he was George Kirby last year, I'd be interested in him at this price here, but he's just not been the same. Matter of fact, I think I'd rather go against George Kirby today till he proves it that he can kind of somewhat straighten it out. You got McGill, who we've been using quite a bit in recent times. I don't mind McGill, but his last 2 starts, he's at solid 20 points, 25 points. It's gone. It's been the pitch has been there. 100 his last start out. I do like that. He's had 16 Ks in his last 10 innings. So I don't mind some McGill, but I mean, that's a pretty tough matchup, obviously, with the Dodgers. So that's a tough pull too. And then you do have Strider. I do like that his pitch count's been going up a little. He got 90 at 75 2 starts ago. He's got 90 his last start, which I do like. He did have 7 Ks against a Philly team, a good Philly team. So, I mean, Spencer Strider, as you mentioned, I think he's kind of the wild card, the mystery card here. I mean, he's 8,500. I mean, he could literally come out and nuke the slate. I mean, he was a guy last year you pretty much had to have. You know, he was pretty much going to throw up a 30 burger or a 50 burger over on FanDuel pretty much almost every time he started. So I think he's an interesting one. But, hey, again, he doesn't have the best matchup against a D-back team. So definitely a little concern there. Molly, I think, you got warm weather down there in Tampa. I think Molly, he'd be out for me. I'm just not too big of a fan there. Peralta against Cincinnati, I think that's just way too risky. We don't like the park down there. Peralta, I think, could get beat up today. It's possible. Lopez, I think he's just an average kind of blah play. He did get beat up last time out. Only had 3 Ks. The strikeouts haven't really been there. I think Lopez, I mean, he's interesting because the A's haven't really been hitting. I think he's just like a pivot to some of these guys here up top. But I'm going to stick with Green and Rodon, really. I think Rodon is probably the safest play against the Cleveland team, whose strikeouts have been creeping up, from the past years here we've seen. Cleveland doesn't really hit lefties all that well. So definitely Rodon for me would be the safest play, but you're going to pay for him, obviously 10-3. Hunter Green, I think, is the one that's interesting. He had a couple bad starts here recent times, but everything still seems to line up. His velocity, everything's there. I do like me some Hunter Green today. I think he would be my more of like a tournament play for me, but I think the safest play is Rodon. I mean, you can't overlook that. The guy's been pitching very well. I mean, he's had 10 Ks, 8 Ks, 5 Ks, 10 Ks. I mean, he's been there 105, 102 pitches. So everything lines up for Rodon to be the SP1 for me. But Hunter Green is definitely 1A, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I echo a lot of what you said to some extent, right? Which is definitely fine, right? Obviously, we all have our own takes. You are very sharp in your own right. I agree with you in Carlos Rodon, number 1. He's my SP1 on the slate. Looking at Cleveland, this Cleveland team is not the same as last year. Looking at the last 30 days versus left-handed pitching, this Cleveland team has a 32% K rate against lefties. Rodon been solid all year, right around 29% K rate to both sides of the plate here. Should have run support there. It is pretty hot and decent hitting conditions in Yankee Stadium, but it's probably about 7th best on the slate in terms of overall hitting conditions, which is absolutely wild to say, right? When you're talking Yankee Stadium and you're talking June baseball, typically that's going to be a spot we want to go to, but that just speaks volume to what these other spots across the board here tonight are for hitting overall. So I do like Carlos Rodon. Number 1 is my favorite pitcher on the slate. I think Rodon and Strider is going to be a really popular combo. When I ran the dry run, it was giving me about 75% Rodon, which makes sense for sure. I'm kind of in line with that. And then the secondary SP2 option, it was going to be Spencer Strider at that price point. I have significant concern with Spencer Strider for a couple reasons. Number 1, Arizona over the last 30 days against right-handed pitching, 17% K rate, only 2 bats above 20% K strikeouts, and that's Alec Thomas and Pavin Smith. Both of those guys have a lot of power against righties overall. And if you look at Spencer Strider between this year and last year, 24% K rate to lefties, allows a 217 ISO and a 40% fly ball rate here. And he's going to see 6 left-handed hitters here with one of the most powerful offenses in all of baseball in the D-backs, and it's mid-80s in Truist Park, and you get full 9 inning at bats here for the D-backs. So I actually like some D-backs bats against Strider here. I'm under on Strider personally. I get it, right? His strikeout, he has tons of strikeout upside. I just hate the matchup for Spencer Strider, and that's going to be the case for a lot of these pitchers here that we see here tonight. A lot of loaded arms typically, that are just in pretty tough matchups, good weather. Obviously, they could get the better hand of that. So that's kind of why I say this slate is pretty tricky here. I see Shalhoub came in the chat, right, saying a weak pitching slate. I think it's weak, number one, for a couple of reasons. It's not weak by name recognition and name value in general. It's weak because of the matchups in the weather, in my opinion, is kind of how I look at it. And that's kind of where I put Spencer Strider in there. So I'm under on Spencer Strider. Hunter Green, I also want to talk about as well. Number one, the Brewers are a very streaky offense. It's not just because I'm a Brewers fan. They've won 8 straight here. Hunter Green does have a ton of strikeout ability, but what does Hunter Green do is he gives up fly balls, right? You got wind blowing out in Great American Small Park. It's hot and humid, temperatures in the 80s. There is downside risk, and at 9,500, he's also coming off an injury. This is a spot where I think I'm going to play both sides. I think Hunter Green's a good play in tournaments. I also think the Brewers bats at their projected ownership are also a good play. So I don't mind Hunter Green, but as the second highest priced pitcher on the slate with the matchup, I think there's definitely some concern there. Christopher Sanchez is semi-interesting to me. Not a great matchup, right? Toronto just doesn't strike out. There's not a lot of Ks throughout that lineup there. Sanchez, 9,500. I'd much rather just play Hunter Green personally. So kind of under on Sanchez there. I don't really want to play Pablo Lopez. I get it. Pablo Lopez does have strikeouts, especially at the back half of that A's lineup. But with the weather, by far and away, the best hitting conditions. I talked about it in depth yesterday with Joe Ryan. I think Joe Ryan's a much better pitcher than Pablo Lopez. You saw what happened to Joe Ryan yesterday. Obviously, it's all slate dependent, right? And we play daily fantasy sports here. But I just don't think I need to pay $9,300 for a guy, Pablo Lopez, in that ballpark. I mean, he has to be perfect. I mean, he literally has to be perfect when you got a guy like Freddie Peralta who has a 37% strikeout rate against this Cincinnati team, obviously in division rivals, right? I get the weather. I get all of that. But looking at the Cincinnati Reds team over the last 30 days against right-handed pitching, they have about a 25% K rate. That's enough for me. Freddie Peralta's pitched pretty solid all year. I like Freddie Peralta quite a bit, especially at his projected ownership here. Nobody's really going to go that. They're going to play the other side of the game and go Hunter Green. I like saving the $500 and playing a sub 5% owned Freddie Peralta, who has success. He's seen this team a lot. I like the Brewers bats as well a little bit too. So I'm in on Freddie Peralta. I like him quite a bit at 9K there. I'm out on Male. Talked about Strider already. Pretty under on Strider. Miguel, I actually have interest in Miguel. It is a tough matchup here. I do think he has upside, though, at 8,300. He has strikeout upside. There is some strikeouts in the back half of that Dodgers lineup that he can get by. And at 8,300, I'll take some chances. It's not incredible hitting conditions out there as well tonight in Dodger Stadium. Temperatures in the low 60s. There's some slight wind blowing out there, but that's one of the better pitching environments overall. I get the matchups is scary, but you're not paying 10K. You're not paying upper 9Ks for this. You're paying sub or low 8Ks for him. So I'm in on Miguel. George Kirby is the wild card to me. Man, it's a tale of two tapes, right? Kirby's looked absolutely atrocious to start the year through his 2 starts coming back off the IL. But this O's team has also been really bad too. So I can see a case where George Kirby has a ton of upside. I think a lot of people are on your camp, right, Gyiraszin, that you still think Kirby's broken. He very well could be broken. I'm going to pay to find out here, I think. The back half of that lineup, if Mayo's in there, Kiersted's in there, Carlson's in there, there's a lot of strikeouts there. I think Kirby can regress back. He doesn't walk any guys, so he should be fine for the most part is kind of how I'm approaching it. I think I'm in on Kirby. He's picking up some ownership, so I definitely get the case, right? Like you talked about that. You're off of Kirby. 8,200 in this pitcher's ballpark, one of the best places on the slate, probably behind, right, Giant Stadium for pitching. I think Kirby's a solid play. So for me, up at the top, it's Kirby, Miguel, Peralta, Green, and Rodon. Pretty much out on the rest of these guys. Let's jump below 8K. I do think there is a couple names below 8K that you can definitely play. Up at the top tier, or up at the top of the range, Drew Rasmussen, going to get a little bit of ownership, but more so at the bottom of this range is where people are going to go to. Guys like Brian Bello and Yusei Kikuchi in that game in Fenway. Both sides of that, you want to play Boston against right-handed pitching much more than you do against left-handed pitching. We always know what happens with Kikuchi. He can give up 3 home runs, but he can also go out there and strike out 7-8 dudes. Always has strikeout. He is the definition of a GPP play. So hit on those 3 guys in particular. And then any of these other guys like Palante, Lorenzen, Beebe, Landon Roop, Shane Smith, any of these other guys that you have interest in potentially here to round up the pitching pool.
Yeah, I see Rasmussen getting some love, which for me, it's just tough. He's got a leash on him. I mean, he's only throwing mid-70 pitches. I mean, he doesn't get deep into games. You got a little bit of weather concern there. I mean, Texas does suck. But, I mean, I think Rasmussen is it's just kind of risky to me. I'd rather play Rasmussen than Kirby, to be honest with you. But, Rasmussen, 7,700. I guess I could stomach it if you really wanted to go there. Definitely not using Smith against the Tigers. That's not going to work out. I mean, talking down here too. I mean, I can't play Kershaw. I can't Kikuchi. I mean, Boston's just been really bad. I mean, if you wanted to play Boston, Kikuchi against Boston, I guess I couldn't argue with you on that one. But I don't know. I just think today there's a few good pitchers that you're going to have to. There's like 5 or 6 decent strikeout arms on this slate today. I think you might have to be concerned about. But on the other hand, Nades, I think of all those good pitchers that we were talking about, one of them will probably get beat up, and that team who beats them up will probably be on the winner tonight because it'll be really low owned. But either way, that's DFS for you. But I think there's just really not much down here really below 8K that you mentioned the 3 names I would even consider playing. And that would be Rasmussen. I'd consider. You could probably consider Kikuchi, and then maybe I could look at a Brian Bello, but man, that's tough too to even consider that. That's just, you're stretching it at this point if you want to get down that far. So for me, I don't know, but Bello, Kikuchi, Rasmussen, probably be the only 3 I'd even consider down there.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. I will throw out a couple other names, Landon Roop. The reason being is I get it. The matchup is not good. I don't think Roop is the same type of pitcher, right? I was in heavy last night on Logan Webb. He's my SP1 on the entire slate. The ballpark, right? There's so many spots in this on this slate here tonight where there's really good weather. It's really tough matchups. Landon Roop at that price point. If he can skate by and like Michael said in the chat, right? The dude is nails for 4 innings, and then the brakes just fall off. So if he can, hone that in a little bit, he's going to throw right around 85 to 90 pitches, 7,400. I think he's an okay play. I don't love it, but again, you're not going to love much on this slate. And like Jake says in the chat, especially on a slate like tonight, you're not going to feel safe about any of these guys for the most part. There's a case where Rodon goes out there and gets beat up as well. There's not a single pitcher on this entire slate that's projected over 20 DraftKings points. There hasn't been very many slates, if any, this year where that's been the case, especially 12-game slates at that. There's always at least one guy on the slate that's projected over 20. That just shows you how the slate sets up. So I'm more willing to take chances at guys like a George Kirby, right? Like I talked about at 8,300. I'm more willing, or 8,200, excuse me. I'm more willing to take chances at a guy like Drew Rasmussen at 7,700 that could get some strikeouts in that Texas lineup, who's been miserable all season long. Shane Smith, I think, is somewhat interesting. I know you're not going to like it, but again, he has been the White Sox best player. I get it. The Tigers, right? There's a lot of lefties. Parker Meadows coming back gives that team a big boost. If you wanted to throw a shot at Shane Smith, I don't hate it. He's projected right around 12 to 13 points, which is right in line with the majority of these guys. He's got a better projection that I'm looking at than Zach Gallen has, right? So that just shows you the nature of the slate here. So for me, it's Kikuchi's my favorite guy down here. Bello, Sugano, and Rasmussen, Landon Roop are some names I'll throw out. It's pretty much out on everyone else. I see some talks about Oswaldo Bido starting for the Athletics. That doesn't really change any interest in terms of bats. Obviously, we'll break that game down once we do get to the hitters. It's one fly ball lefty for another fly ball righty. Twins have a lot of lefties that they can throw in there. They didn't confirm any lineup rights yet. They'll probably wait for a long time until they get as much certainty as they can for what the Athletics are going to do with the pitching staff. So, overall pitching, it's gross. I want to say stick to the top range. But I mean, none of these guys, even at the top range, outside of Rodon, is by far and away my favorite. But even he's not safe. So for me, I think it's Rodon, Freddie, Kirby are kind of my three favorite guys, and none of those feel safe. And none of them feel really good to me either. So it's a pretty unique slate overall, Gyiraszin, for pitching. You want to sum up the pitching before we jump over, share the stone, and go through hitting?
Yeah, like you said, I got Rodon at the top. I like Hunter Green a little more than you do. I like Strider, and then I'd probably look at McGill. And then maybe I'd look at Kikuchi or Bello down below if I wanted to save on some with some salary on some bats. But yeah, pitching is going to be a little bit tough today. But I do think Rodon will be. He should be in the 30 percentile range, I would assume. But I still don't feel like you need to worry about that because I think there'll be the slate will be pretty spread out today. So I wouldn't be too concerned with that one.
Yeah, ownership's not going to matter on the slate, and I'm with you on Bello too. I don't mind them. I mean, you can see I just filter by projection here. I'm sitting right around 14.5 with an average of a couple different projection sources, ours, SaberSims, etc. Should be right around 90 pitches. Angels went nuclear last night. I think, 6,300. Again, you're not paying to find out, and it allows you to spend up for a lot of the hitters on the slate, which is what most people are going to try and do for the most part that I can see here. Let's jump over, share the stone here, and talk hitting. First game on the slate, Tanner Beebe and Carlos Rodon. We're in Yankee Stadium here. Yankees always have upside here. Beebe, nothing special. The Cleveland bullpen is pretty solid. Rodon, I don't think this is a spot you want to even try and leverage because, again, right, we talk about ownership. Ownership's pretty non-existent in terms of quote-unquote chalk from the pitcher standpoint. I think the Guardians are a clear cross-off for me. Yankees always have upside. I don't love them, but, 5 implied run total. They're going to be pretty low owned. They kind of fall in the same category as what the Dodgers fell in last night, right? They're expensive. Not many people are on them. An okay matchup. What are you going to do here with the Yankees and the Guardians in Yankee Stadium?
I don't think the Yankees make my top stacks, but they're definitely interesting against Bobby. Bobby struggled a little bit. He's only got an 18% strikeout rate to righty. He's been walking too many guys from the right side. The WOBA, 333 to the left, 328 to the right. Fly ball percentage been up. Yankees generally tear up some righties, especially you look at some of these Yankees WOBAs against righty. You got Grisham at 423, Ben Rice 392, Judge is at 490. This lineup is loaded, but I think there's some teams in some better spots. If I was playing 5 teams, I might get to a Yankee stack. Yankees are expensive, so you can't jam in any of them high-priced pitchers. But I think the Yankees are interesting, but I'd have them outside my top 5. And definitely not playing any Indians.
Yeah. I want to hit on Andrew Martinez. I was talking with Shalhoub in the Discord on this too. 5,500, I think. This dude's been a bullpen arm. He hasn't thrown over 51 pitches in any of his appearances. He's gone 1 inning out of the bullpen. He's getting the start. I'm looking at this as more of a bullpen game. I don't expect him to throw long, to be honest. The dude's a fly ball pitcher anyways. Doesn't have a lot of strikeout stuff. I don't think you can play him. Personally, I don't foresee him going longer than 3 innings at max. Personally, I could be wrong, but he didn't even crack any interest personally myself. I did want to mention that because I know some people are probably looking at that for salary savings with how weak the overall pitching slate is, right? When they go in and start looking at these guys, and you can poke holes in almost all of them, right? That we alluded to there. So I did want to bring that up because I do think it's a pretty interesting take for sure. As far as this game from the hitting side, it would just be the Yankees lefties for me, and then Aaron Judge. Obviously, you can play him any slates, right? The Yankees did load this lineup for the most part with lefties, right? Grisham, Jazz is in there, Ben Rice, Bellinger, Escara, a cheap catcher that you have in there, which is always nice, 3K. You see all of these ISOs. The team ISO is sitting at a 270 at home against right-handed pitching here. There's some upside here. I think the Yankees are pretty interesting, pretty good in the hitter rankings. Not one guy above 100 overall. Goldschmidt's the worst rated guy. Much of these guys are ranked 50th or below for us. I think the Yankees are actually pretty interesting here. I didn't look at them too much in depth here, BB has pitched good against this Yankees team in his career, but again, I only take that at surface value, right? There's so many matchup things and weather and everything that goes into matchups overall. I do think the Yankees lefties definitely have some upside here, and they're going to be pretty low owned. So definitely a team that I might go in on one of my 4 teams here tonight, especially at this projected ownership here. I think they have quite a bit of upside. Pretty decent hitting conditions as well, like I said, in Yankee Stadium. About temperatures in the 70s, some wind kind of blowing across the field. So I don't mind the Yankee side of that game. Next game of the slate, we're going up to Rogers Center up in Toronto. Phillies coming to town to face Bowden Francis here and that Blue Jays bullpen, who have been actually really good over the last month or so. Phillies, though, I mean, Francis is not any good, and if they get to Francis early, you're going to see the back half of that bullpen, the lesser arms, which is pretty standard across the MLB. The back half of every team's bullpen is not very good in general, unless you're the Dodgers, right? You can just buy the entire world. What are you going to do here? Phillies are pretty interesting to me. Nobody's going to go to the Phillies. I like these lefties quite a bit. Francis is atrocious against lefties. Stott, Harper, Schwarber, Max Kepler, Brandon Marsh. You got some good lefties, pretty solid lefties with a lot of power here. Pretty solid spot, I think, for some of these Phillies at their projected ownerships overall. What are you going to do here?
Yeah, just looking at this game here, I really like this one. Toronto's been hot. Now, normally I don't like to play Toronto. I'm not playing them against Sanchez, but in the last week or two, Toronto's been one of the hotter teams in all of baseball. But on the other side of that game, the Phillies, yeah, you mentioned the lefties. I'm all over these lefties. I mean, you look at Bowden Francis, his WOBA to lefties is 406. His ISO is 333. He's got an 18% strikeout rate. He's walking double what he is to the lefties to the right side. I think fly ball percentage, like I mentioned, 33%. I mean, to me, this got Schwarber written all over it. I think he's going to hit – that guy's going to hit a home run with probably his first at bat, I'm guessing. Schwarber's just been absolutely tearing up left-handed pitching all year. We've mentioned it a few times so far this year. But I really like the lefties, as you mentioned. I think the lefties of Philly would be in my top 3 probably of my favorite stacks today. So Philly for me, I mean, you got Harper, Stott, Schwarber, Max Kepler, as you mentioned. So I think there's plenty of power to be had here. I think Philadelphia is one of my favorite stacks. And you know what? I'll just say it now. Schwarber and Kerry Carpenter are both going to hit a home run today. I might just parlay them 2 together, Nate.
There you go. A little parlay, a little betting action for our guy Gyiraszin. When he gives out these old home run calls, he's been pretty damn hot. So you might want to pay a little attention to that. And I just pulling up the Toronto bullpen usage. They're pretty taxed in general. I mean, 4 guys had a throw on Sunday. Obviously, they were off yesterday. I mean, Fisher's thrown 35 in the last 3. Hoffman's thrown 30. Rodriguez has thrown 22. I mean, Flaherty is thrown 20. I mean, a lot of they're not super taxed by any means, but again, there are a pretty taxed pen. Phillies lefties should smash Francis. A fly ball guy allows a ton of power to lefties. I think you can 5-man stack the Phillies. Probably prefer them more as a mini stack, like Jake says in the chat. I do think they are 5-stack viable though. And then you can always add in a Trey Turner who always puts the ball in play, always has stolen base upside. Alec Boehm's been playing really, really good. You can play him at third base. I do not recommend playing Alec Boehm at first base. First base is just loaded. I'd much rather just play Bryce Harper there and play Boehm at a shitty third base position at 3,700. So I do like the stack quite a bit there. I'm with you. I love the Phillies here tonight. And then on the Blue Jays side, I don't really want to pick on Christopher Sanchez, but Vlad's been good. Springer's been good. This team has been good in general. I mean, you got some cheap guys at the back half of that lineup, some switch hitters. I mean, I'd much prefer the Philly side. I think more one-offs on the Blue Jays. Vlad, Bo, Addison Barger's been really good. Springer. I would stick to the top kind of 4 guys or 5 guys. Kirk is always going to get played at 3,300 at a catcher position. A lot of people just punting that off, but I do like this game pretty much overall in general here.
Real quick, I looked it up. Toronto has 5 guys in the top 16 of OPS in the last week, leading with Ernie Clement. Good old Ernie.
Ernie's been smashing. Ernie has been
smashing.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Got to say hi, my guy Hofbrau. Man, I haven't seen this dude in forever. I mean, the German Afro. I mean, you've definitely seen his avatar flying across both sites, FanDuel and DraftKings. Shout out to Hofbrau tuning in. What's up, brother? Hopefully you've been good. Hopefully everything's going good with you and the fam. Good to see you back in here. Appreciate you tuning in. Next game on the slate, we're heading to Fenway. Brian Bello, Kikuchi. We talked about both of these pitchers, but man, I mean, neither of these pitchers is bulletproof. Kind of the nature of the slate, right, in general. And you talk about good hitting environments. We saw this game go nuclear last night on the Angels side, right? I think they had, 3 home runs or 4 home runs in the first inning. Joe Adell hit 2 home runs. Mike Trout hit a bomb. I mean, it's pretty good hitting conditions again here tonight. Overall, in a good hitting park. Temperatures in the kind of mid-60s. Some slight winds, not too much to worry about. It's kind of blowing across the field, maybe a little bit out to that green monster and left. Not the best hitting environment on the slate, but it's above average and above average park. 2 guys, I think you can play both sides of this game. Probably prefer the pitching a little bit more than I do the hitters. But what are you going to do here with the Red Sox and the Angels?
Yeah, I mean, I think both pitchers are kind of in the same bucket. I mean, they walk too many guys. They do get blown up from time to time, but they can go out and throw you, they're like the Robbie Ray kind of scenario. But I mean, Bello is a heavy ground ball pitcher, mid 50%. So I would prefer, if we were going to attack anybody, I'd probably want to attack Kikuchi just because he's got a little bit higher fly ball percentage than Bello does. Not as many ground balls. So, but I mean, with the Red Sox, I mean, you look at some of the lefties. I wouldn't be afraid to play Duran or Devers, but the middle part of that lineup: Refsnyder, Gonzalez, Toro, Story. You're going to see a bunch of righties on there at the bottom. I think there's a little bit of price and pinch hit risk too, a little bit though with Refsnyder. But I mean, I think it's interesting. I think if I had maybe 20 teams, I'd look at this game. It's got a high total, 9.5. I think it does have some blow-up spots, but both pitchers definitely can hunker down and throw a decent game. I mean, we could see this game be a low-scoring game, or this one could be a softball game. I mean, really on both sides. But I think if I was going to attack anybody, I'd probably go after Kikuchi more so than I'd go after Bello.
Yeah, I mean, going after Kikuchi, you always get the added bonus of that absolutely atrocious bullpen who's taxed at that. I see our guy talking about, right, LA bullpen tax makes me fade Kikuchi. I'll give you a counter argument to that. It kind of it could definitely be a case, right? But you could also see the flip and reverse happen, right? If Kikuchi gets in a little trouble, they know their bullpen sucks, number one. They know it's taxed, number two. It increases Kikuchi's leash a little bit more too. So with a taxed bullpen, typically managers will like to lean on their starters a little bit more than usual there. So it goes both ways there. LA pen is dog shit. I prefer to play Boston hitters more against right-handed pitching personally myself than I do against left-handed pitching. But they definitely have upside. If I were to pick out anyone, it would probably be Refsnyder and Trevor Story. But again, Refsnyder's coming out as soon as the righty comes in that ball game. So obviously, I mean, he's a platoon, tons of power against left-handed pitching in general. So always has upside there. I just don't love this game from hitting in general. If I were to play any of the Angels, it would be the fly ball guys in particular to counteract, right? Bellows ground ball, and that's Trout, Ward, Neto are kind of the 3 main guys I would look at there. But more mini stacks. I'm not going to full stack any of these guys, I don't think, in this spot, personally myself. Next game on the slate, it's my Milwaukee Brewers heading into Great American Small Park to face Hunter Greene. Freddie Peralta on the other end. 2 aces for both of these teams going here tonight. You talk about good hitting weather. It is really good hitting weather here in Cincinnati tonight. One of the better parks in all of baseball for hitting. Temperatures in the 80s, pretty humid. No wind really to worry about. Some slight wind. I mean, you're looking at about 5 mile an hour wind or so, which really doesn't matter too much. Brewers, one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in all of baseball, right? Won 8 straight here, swept the Phillies over the weekend here, took the game yesterday. Not quite the same spot. Hunter Green does allow fly balls, though. I prefer more mini stacks, picking out power to leverage some of the Hunter Green. Obviously, he's got a ton of strikeout upside there. I would like some of the lefty fly ball power. Yelich has been one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball. Hit another home run last night. Raked all weekend. You do have stolen base upside as well with the Brewers. You can definitely run on Hunter Green, which gives the Brewers added bonus. And on a slate where I think it's going to be lower scoring from a bats perspective, I'm going to give a slight extra boost personally to myself, or to stolen bases in general. Brewers do have 81 stolen bases on the year, second in all of baseball. And then on the red side, you can always pick off a home run or two against Freddie Peralta. Just not a guy I love to attack. But again, he's not throwing his off-speed stuff as much. So these hitters are going to see fastballs. It's just a matter of if they can connect or not. What are you doing here in Cincinnati?
Yeah, fastball Freddie. I like to call Mr. Freddie Peralta. But, I mean, you did mention the one thing I think with Hunter Green is interesting is, I mean, you want to pick on him with the lefties, like you said. His ISO to lefties is 217 to 128 to righties. I mean, his fly ball percentage is 10 points higher, 42% to lefties compared to righties. You know, Hunter Green has got beat up his last few starts, but you know what? I'm like I said, I'd rather play Hunter Green than go against him today. But I will say, if there's two teams, Nades, in all my years that have played DFS, that when they play in Cincinnati, I love the game stack. So at some point in this series, I will probably game stack this whole game because, A, they always steal bags. Almost every time you look at one of these series, one of them games goes up. It's like a thing that I just have said in my all years. When Cincinnati and Milwaukee get together, I'm going to generally game stack it up because it just generally seems to have all kinds of fireworks between these two teams. As a matter of fact, I've been so strong on that over the years. I actually live finaled one time game stack the Brew Crew in Cincinnati, ended up finishing in the mid-20s or whatever. It started out really well, just kind of faded out. But, man, this is just a series, like over the years, I've always just liked to just always seem to gravitate toward the Milwaukee-Cincinnati in Cincinnati game. So, you know, it's just we don't have the two right pitchers today for it. As soon as I saw that you know, they were in Cincinnati, I was thinking, ooh, all right, cool. I'm going to definitely be game stacking one of these games here. As you mentioned, I mean, Milwaukee's been stealing all kinds of bags. We know Cincinnati steals bags too. So definitely is going to be there. I just don't think today's the day for it for me. But if I was to go after anything on the side, I probably would pick on Hunter Green with the lefties. You mentioned Yelich is one of the hotter hitters in all of baseball, so don't mind him. He was on my cusp of me almost adding him into that parlay I said with Schwarber and Carpenter. But, yeah, I think this one's definitely interesting. Like I said, I think the winner tonight, you know, that big 100K tournament is going to be the one ballsy enough to stack up against one of these better pitchers. And it's going to end up going off. So I think, you know, hey, I think the Brewers would be in play for me to have that. As you mentioned, I think you can go both sides of that one. Hunter Green could go out and have himself a spectacular game. But then again, he's been getting beat up a little bit there. I mean, you could definitely look at some of them fly ball hitters from the Brewers.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about bullpens. Neither of these teams has a good bullpen. Milwaukee's 8th worst in terms of ERA. Cincinnati is 12th worst in terms of ERA. Milwaukee's WHIP is 1.35. Cincinnati's is 1.27. Both have allowed quite a bit of home runs. Milwaukee's allowed 25 home runs out of the pen. Cincinnati's allowed 30 home runs out of the pen. We know you can pick off home runs against Hunter Green. I will definitely have some Brewers in at least one of my teams, not just because I'm a homer. I just think the upside is there, right? Hitting conditions, good ballpark, good weather. He could definitely strike out 8 Brewers, but he could also give up 2 or 3 home runs. And picking off those home runs is definitely going to be viable there. So I like the lefties in particular, but Churrio's been a beast. And both of these teams are top 6 in all of baseball in stolen bases. You can steal on both these pitchers. Freddie and Hunter Green allow stolen bases for sure. Next game on the slate, this is one of my favorite games. We're heading out to Atlanta. Hot Atlanta, as I like to say. It's going to be hot there tonight, humid. Zach Gallen's broken, I think, here. So I definitely like Braves. This Braves offense looks rejuvenated. No surprise, right? When Ronald Acuna comes back, that your offense starts to play a little bit better and rally around him. Zach Gallen, you want lefties in particular against him, but Acuna can murder right-handed pitching. Always has stolen base upside too. He's been on a tear. I think he's hit 3 or 4 home runs since he's been back. And then Spencer Strider, I talked about it, right? He gives up a ton of fly balls and a lot of power to lefties. A lot of people are going to play him. I think his ownership's going to creep up throughout leading up to lock, right? Because of his K-prop number 1 and his price number 2 and the way the pitching slate sets up in general. I think the D-backs lefties are pretty damn sneaky here. Marte, Carroll, Perdomo's been a beast all year. Naylor. Those are kind of the main guys I would look at. I don't love the back half of the lineup a ton. Pavin Smith has pinch hit concerns for sure. I like the top 4 guys quite a bit here for the D-backs. More mini stacks, but you get a pretty bad bullpen from the Braves as well behind Strider. What are you doing here in Hotlanta?
Yeah, I think the Braves are interesting. You mentioned Acuna comes back, makes that lineup obviously a hell of a lot stronger. I mean, and you look at Gallen, he like you mentioned, he's not been good. He's walking too many dudes, 12% from the left side, 9% to the right side. His Woba 340 to lefties, his fly ball percentage, 35% to lefties. So Olson's looking like a pretty decent play. I think all the Braves are decent. I think that lineup got obviously a little longer adding Acuna. So I definitely like some Braves. I think if you're going to look for any kind of leverage tonight, if you wanted to, I agree with you on the D-backs lefties. It's just Spencer Strider. If he's right, I don't give a shit what team he's facing. Spencer Strider is somebody I'd be wanting. We're just not sure about Spencer Strider yet. We got a couple of those situations on this slate tonight. Kirby, Strider. I mean, the Strider's price is priced right to where I think, that's why everybody's going to gravitate to him. I think if it was $9K or $9,200, I think most people, he wouldn't be as popular as he is. But at the price he's at, I think he's definitely going to get some love tonight. So if you wanted a little bit of leverage, I think you could definitely look at, the Corbin Carrolls of the world, the Martes, Perdomo, Naylor. I mean, as you mentioned, he's going to see 5 lefties out of that top half of that lineup. So definitely don't mind that. I think it's risky. But again, as I've said twice already, I think the guy who gets ballsy enough to stack up against one of these top pitchers is probably going to end up being the winner. I can I can just feel it in my gut. So, we could pick on, like we mentioned with the Brewers, we could pick on a chalkier pitcher. I think here's another spot you could today, but Arizona Diamondbacks lefties, I don't mind it. I think it's a little bit riskier. We got a game total sitting at 9, but I think between the Brewers and D-backs, which one would you rather go, Nades? I think I'd probably lean Brewers just because they've been hitting so well. But in Strider, I think is a little bit better pitcher than Hunter Green. So, to me, I guess I'd probably lean Brewers, though, if I put these two in the same bucket.
Yeah, they're both close. It's much better hitting environment, personally, myself, that I can see in Cincinnati, better park in general, too. You got some 8 to 10 mile an hour winds blowing in Atlanta. Temperatures are pretty equal, upper 70s, low 80s. But again, Strider is a great pitcher, but where I said, I talked about his weakness. His weaknesses are against lefties. You're going to see 6 lefties here. Braves bullpen has been actually really good over the last 30 days. I'm looking second best in baseball over the last month or so. On the flip side, the D-backs pen has been atrocious over the last month. They haven't been great all season long. So I definitely love the Braves. Braves are one of my favorite stacks on the entire slate. Drake Baldwin's been good. 4,300 for a catcher. I like him hitting second right behind Acuna. And then you got Austin Riley, who always has a ton of power regardless of the handedness. Matt Olson, one of the better plays on the slate. Ozuna smashes right-handed pitching. And then you got cheap guys like a Michael Harris where you can wrap it around. I know our guy Ham, if he's out there listening, right, he hates Alex Verdugo there. But if you want to play a 3,600 Verdugo who really doesn't strike out this season against righties, you can put him into play. And Zach Gallen's walking dudes, right, with a bad bullpen behind him. I love the Braves here tonight, and I think the D-backs, like I said, those lefties, the top 4 is what I would stick to for the D-back side. I'm not going to full stack them, but a Carroll, a Marte, Perdomo, Naylor, I think those guys are all good. Perdomo and Naylor have really good price points as well. Marte, you can pay up and flip the slate on its head. Everybody likes to save at second base and third base. So playing the top end, right, like a Kettle Marte at second base when people are saving and punting, I think is an interesting way to go as well. Next game on the slate, Rangers and the Rays. Rasmussen, Mahle. Man, Tyler Mahle's been he's pitched pretty good all year. I mean, you try and stack against him, it just doesn't really work out. He's not going to have the upside that you really want. Personally, that I can see to play him in DFS is just not a guy you really want to stack against. It is hot in Tampa, but the wind's blowing in, and I think this stadium all season is going to play better when the wind is blown out, right? No, by no surprise, minor league stadiums don't have the stands and the seating and everything built up around the stadium to kind of minimize some of that wind effect. You do have 9 to 12 mile an hour winds blowing in this game. Temperatures in the 70s. It's not in the 90s and upper 80s like we've seen throughout the course of the year. This is a game that I just don't have much interest in. The Rays do have a ton of upside when you're talking stolen bases. They're right up there with the Brewers and the Reds in terms of stolen bases. I think they actually have the most stolen bases in all of baseball. Helps when you have guys like Magnum who are going to run all the time, right? Josh Lowe coming back helped this lineup too, but not a spot that I love for hitting. One-offs more so, but don't love it. Jonathan Aranda is probably my favorite play. He's been a beast all season. 4,700, right there in that kind of mid-tier for a first baseman. I think he's solid, but what are you going to do here with the Tampa and Texas Bats?
Yeah, I'm just going to skip on by game total 7.5. I mean, if I was to play a one-off, Junior Caminero would be a guy. I mean, the dude's smashing the shit out of the baseball. He's 9 for 21 with 4 bombs, 13 RBIs. And in the last week, he's got a 1.598 OPS, which is I mean, that's Aaron Judge's kind of shit. So Junior would be about the only guy I'd look at. But, man, we got to get 7.5 total, 12 games. We got better spots to go. And we got like 7 minutes till we're at the top of the hour. So we got to skip on by a few of these shit games. So we might as well just keep on going.
Hey, we're going in depth, right? There's big contests out there. We got 2 hours for lock. I mean, people are sticking around. They like the old baseball takes here. I just think there's much better games personally. Mahle just doesn't allow a ton of power at all, ton of hard contact. So much better games on the slate. And we're heading one here, right? You got your Tigers gear on. You're flying your Tigers flag, and man, they got the job done, scoring 13 yesterday. You got the White Sox best starter, quote unquote best, right? But I mean, that's not saying much when you have Chicago's team in general. However, this team does have guys, right, that are trying to get the hell out of Chicago, right? I mean, Tauchman's been good in terms of the hit error. What are you going to do here with the Tigers bats? They're not going to be as chalky as they were last night. By no surprise, right? You double the amount of games and you put a bunch of other high implied totals on the slate. That's just by no surprise going to happen. This team is still super cheap. I think they still have a ton of upside here. The White Sox pen his cheeks behind Shane Smith. Even if Shane Smith goes 5-6 innings, right? You still get 3 full innings of bad relievers coming in that are taxed as well for these Tigers here. I think the Tigers are a really good stack in general. I'm sure you're going to be in the same camp. I want the lefties, Carpenter, Green, Meadows, Kerry Bonds, right? Colt Keith, Dingler hit a bomb last night, I think. Tigers are going to load this with lefties to approach those splits of Shane Smith. What are you going to do here? White Sox and the Tigers.
Yeah, I'll put the Tiger. Even though I'm a homer, we both sound like homers. You're over there cheering up the Brewers. I'm cheering up the Tigers. But, hey, we got some good teams that we get to watch. But, I mean, the Tigers – 4th most runs in baseball, the most wins in baseball. They're smashing the shit out of the ball. They like to hit out there in the White Sox. That park sucks too, by the way. I was there last year. I still can't believe I was there. Nades, I was looking out, I'm like, man, where's all the fans? The game got to start in an hour. My wife's like, it starts in 5 minutes. I was like, shh, man, they got a lot of fans out here. I could walk around the whole stadium and smoke a joint and nobody smell it. But either way, but Nades, these lefties for the Tigers are definitely in play today. You know, you look at his fly ball percentage, that being Smith, up to 30%. Last game, he walked 5 dudes. He's always been in the middle, 80-some pitches. I mean, his strikeout percentage is down 18% compared to 26% to the righties. I just think the lefties here, Parker Meadows coming back. I mean, Parker Meadows is sneaky, probably one of the best players on the Tigers, if you ask me. I mean, the dude is absolutely a stud, not only defensively, comes out last night, rips a double, rips a triple. He brings some speed to the lineup. He's going to steal some bags. And I think them taking Carpenter out of that leadoff spot took a little bit of pressure off him. I think he was trying to look at and see too many pitches. And we know Kerry Bonds is just going to wrap back and just go all out and just swing for the fences every time. I think he hits a home run again today. So give me some of these lefties. McKinstry has been hitting the ball fairly well. Like I said, you add Meadows back to that team, and you got Meadows, Carpenter, and Green, 3 out of the top 4 up there. I mean, even if you wanted to wrap it around with like a Wenzel Perez sitting there at 8, I don't mind the power he brings to the table either. So White Sox bullpen's not good, as you mentioned. It's starting to get to that time of year. I mean, guys on Colorado, guys on the White Sox. I mean, how does it go to work every day just getting your ass kicked and just knowing it just would suck? I mean, you're still in the majors. I get it. But still, man, you got to be competitive. But, yeah, I think the Tigers, for me, I'll put them in my top 3 today, especially the lefties. To be honest, I'd rather play them over the Twins. Because when I'm playing the Twins, I hate the damn Twins. I mean, they're a division rival of the Tigers. They got the highest team total, that being the Twins, I understand. But and you got the weather blowing out. They're playing in that shit park out in Sacramento. It all lines up for the Twins. I get it. But I think I'd rather pivot to the Tigers and have them as my most the stack I'd play the most today would definitely be the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, Shalhoub, I'm seeing Meadows is pretty chalky. I mean, if you want to say chalk, I mean, he's going to come in 15, maybe 20%. It's just a 12-game slate where so many solid spots. The Twins are going to be higher owned than the Tigers for sure. So you got guys in the bottom, guys like Trevor Larnach, right? Guys like Carlos Correa, Matt Wallner, some of those guys that are going to contend with some of these Tigers lefties in terms of ownership there. So again, I'm going to play who I want, not really worry about ownership personally is how I'm kind of approaching this. And it's a definitely good spot for the Tigers for sure. So I echo everything what you said. On the White Sox side, Tauchman, Benintendi would be kind of the main guys that I would look at if you want to, but I don't think you need to really play White Sox on a 12-game slate. So we can move on, and we can go out to Busch Stadium here, which another good hitting environment, not a good ballpark in general, but super hot, wind blowing out here in St. Louis. You got a ground ball guy in Palante, but you can steal bases on Palante. He's the best stolen base target on the slate. From what I looked at, Royals are 12th in baseball in stolen bases here. India will swipe Bobby Witt and Miguel Garcia. I think that Witt and Garcia, I think, is a really, really good 2-man stack there. And then you got the best prospect in baseball, Royals top prospect for sure, one of the best prospects in all baseball, Jack in the 6th hole right behind Salvi Perez, first base, outfield eligible, 3,500, lefty. What are you going to do here, Cardinals and the Royals? I like this game more so on the Cardinals side to attack Lorenzen. I don't think Lorenzen's any good, but what's your take here in terms of hitters?
Yeah, I can't play the Royals. We know how I feel about the Royals. Maybe the rookie kid would, maybe we could look at the rookie for his cheap price that he's at. But on a 12-game slate, I'm definitely not stacking the Royals. As far as St. Louis goes, little bit interest, especially maybe some of the righties against Lorenzen. Lorenzen's fly ball percentage is pretty high, 37% to the righties. He's striking out. I mean, he's not above the 22. He's at 20%, 17% to lefties. He does get some ground ball a little heavier to the left side, but I do like some of the righties for St. Louis. I wouldn't put him up there in my top 5, but I'd have him just outside the top 5. I don't know. I can't play the Royals though, but I do like that rookie kid. That rookie kid, I mean, they talk about him. Here we go, Mr. Gator. I thought he was a Gator. But, yeah, so definitely wasn't that dude, like, I remember for some reason him in the College World Series or something like a couple years ago for some reason. I just remember that name. But, yeah, definitely interested in some of those cards. I mean, we got a game total, was it 9, Nate? So don't mind that one as far as the Cardinals go, but I'd have him outside my top 5.
Yeah, I mean, the dude is just raking, right? He's hitting 322 in the minors. He has 15 home runs. I mean, he's got a ton of power. The price is too cheap. It's good. Full 9 inning at bats. I get it. He's facing a ground ball guy, but I mean, Cardinals bullpen's not good behind Palante. It's really good weather. I think Royals minis are intriguing. I do like the Cardinals quite a bit. I saw a guy in Discord was asking Cardinals in the slate plan. Right. I did the slate plan. I have interest in the Cardinals, right? Cardinals have sneakily been a good offense all year long. They've kind of slept a little bit as of late here, but I don't think Lorenzen's any good. I like this Cardinals offense. I think they're an interesting stack. Nobody's going to play them on a slate where I think offense is pretty weak in general overall. And I'll go in on teams that I think have upside here. So I definitely like some of the Cardinals for sure as stacks, 5-man stacks, mini stacks. I'm in on the St. Louis side of that game for sure. Next game, Orioles and the Mariners. This park sucks in general. Sugano's not any good. I think some of the lefties for the Mariners make some sense. George Kirby, I'm in on Kirby. I know you're out on Kirby. I'm going to pay to find out here personally myself. I just think this Orioles lineup is trash, especially the back half. Tons of strikeouts there. If there's a spot for Kirby to get right, it's here. Ballpark sucks for hitting. I'm off the hitters in this one outside of maybe some of the lefties on the Mariners side. What are you doing here?
I mean, I think Kirby's broke. If I was playing a handful of 20 teams, I'd probably put in an Orioles stack just because I think Kirby's a little bit broken. I don't like the park, as you mentioned, but that'd be the only reason until Kirby can show me that he's back where he should be. But he's just been looking like absolute shit his first 2 starts. I mean, mid-70 pitches. He's given up 11 earned runs in 8 innings. He has not looked good at all. He's been walking guys. Well, actually, he hasn't been walking too many. He had 3 walks. But, I mean, the earned runs have been there. I don't know. I'd lay concerned. He is in a good spot. The Orioles been sucking ass lately. I mean, talk about a team who had, like, just prospect after prospect. Now, all of a sudden, it's like they missed their window. But, I mean, I think the Orioles would be sneaky for me just because of Kirby. But, I mean, nothing else lines up for it. Park sucks. The over-under sucks. But I'm just basing it off of Kirby's past 2 starts that he's just looked awful. So maybe, you talk about Kirby getting right. Maybe this is where the Orioles get right. But I think it's risky. But, hey, on a 12-game slate, no bet. I think that it'd be an interesting low-owned stack for me today, the Orioles.
Yeah, I'd rather play the Seattle side personally myself. I mean, you look at the 2 matchups for Kirby that he played Houston in Houston when Houston was streaking, and then he played Washington in Seattle when Washington threw 9 lefties at him. I get it. There's a lot of lefties in this Orioles lineup, but again, tons of strikeouts, 26% K rate on the current season for the Orioles against right-handed pitching. I think he has strikeout upside there. So for me, it's the lefties, Polanco, Raleigh being my 2 favorite guys. Tellez is a nice cheap $2,800 first baseman if you want to flip the build when most people are spending up at first base. Flip the build and go at Rowdy. Always has a ton of power there to hit it out of that park. And then, big dumper going yard. There's always a chance to bet on Cal Raleigh, one of the best hitters in all of baseball. It doesn't matter the ballpark that dude's hitting in. Clearly, if he played in Yankee Stadium, all 160 or all 82 home games, right? If he was on the Yankees, I think this dude would hit 60 home runs for sure. I mean, he's a stud. So definitely have some interest there. Next game on the slate, Padres, Giants, 2 really good bullpens, 2 pitchers we didn't talk about a ton. I have a little bit of interest in Landon Roop against the Padres just due to the price and the overall the ballpark. I'm not playing any of these offenses. If I were to pick a side, it'd be some of these Giants guys. I hate picking on bullpen games. Burgert's not going to go more than 3 innings at most. And Padres got to nail his bullpen. Giants got to nail his bullpen. Cross-off game for me personally.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that one.
All right, 2 games left to talk about, and we made it. We made it to the best game on the slate, in my opinion, on one side. I know people are going to contest. Tigers can definitely contest with the Twins. I'm a ballpark guy. I'm a weather guy. This game went off for, 14 runs last night against better pitchers. Lopez has some upside. Not as good a pitcher as Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan got tagged up a little bit last night. Beto's going to be on the hill for athletics. Allows a ton of fly balls here. I like the Twins a ton here tonight. Everybody's going to like the Twins, but again, I say it all the time. Play the back half of the lineup, 7, 8, 9 hitters. Never as high owned as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I love all 9 Twins. Whoever is in that lineup, if some of the lefties do crack it, there is some pinch hit concerns in that lineup with guys like a Trevor Larnach, right? Might get a little pinch hit concerns there. I love the Twins here tonight. I mean, you're talking temperatures in the 80s, 15 to 20 mile an hour winds blowing out in this ballpark yields the most runs in all of baseball at night. It's a good spot here, and the Athletics pen is absolutely dog shit behind him, worst in all of baseball. This is a spot. I mean, Twins did it last night. I think they keep it rolling here tonight. Call me Chalk Donkey, call me what you want, but again, there's enough other spots where it's going to hold their ownership somewhat in check. None of these guys are projected to be anywhere close to 20%. I mean, 15 to 20% max, I think, is kind of the cap on a lot of these hitters. So I'm playing who I want. I'm in on the Twins. Athletic side, I would prefer some of the lefties, the fly ball guys. Larry Butler hit a bomb last night. I think you can go right back to him. Tyler Soderstrom. I'd prefer the lefties more so than the righties against Lopez. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, we got the highest game total. This park is, we talked about it at the beginning. I mean, it's been yielding up all kinds of runs. Seems like every one of these games out there seems like it's a softball game for some reason. But, yeah, I mean, the Twins for me, I think I don't like it as much as I did when Lopez was pitching with Beto now. But, I mean, Buxton up at the top. Correa's been hitting the ball well. Jeffers, Royce Lewis. I mean, I'd rather have the top half of this lineup. When it gets down to the bottom, it just kind of gets ugly for me, even though Castro's been hitting the ball pretty well recent times. But, yeah, I mean, I know you like the Twins. I think I'm just going to be a little different. I think if I'm going to fade something on this slate, it's going to be the Twins. I think I'd just rather fade the Twins today and probably play some other spots that we like today. The Philadelphias, the Tigers, the Atlantas, the Dodgers. I think I'll be kind of living there and kind of maybe just take a stand and fade the Twins tonight. But, I mean, I think it's risky. I think the Twins definitely could put up some big numbers. But I think I'm just going to go elsewhere. And I think I'm just going to fade the Twins just probably because of just homer bias, because I just can't stand the Twins. But, yeah, I think I'm just going to fade the Twins, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you want to play the Twins unique, just leave Carlos Correa out of your stack. He's going to be the highest owned player on the slate. There's many other shortstops you can play right in his same range, or you can flip the build and go all the way up the top. I think Trey Sweeney is a good pivot, Trevor Story, Bo Bichette, Mason Wynn, to name some, and then go all the way up to the top. Guys like Bobby Witt, Ellie De La Cruz, Corey Seager, Zach Neto. You leave Correa out of your twin stack, you're naturally different right there. Everybody's going to play Correa, 3,700 for all the reasons you alluded to. That's one way to be different right there. You don't play Correa, well, you're different than majority of the people that did five-man stack the Twins. So it doesn't take rocket scientists to be a little different in baseball. Again, most of these guys fail 7 out of 10 times, if not more. Some of these guys fail 8 out of 10 times, right? So leaving a Correa feels scary, right? He's probably going to hit third, fourth, fifth, somewhere in that lineup. Projected to hit fourth right now. You leave him out. Play anyone else. I think that's naturally a way to be different right there. Last game on the slate, Miguel, Clayton Kershaw, Dodgers, and the Mets, two powerhouse teams in general in all of baseball. Kershaw has looked terrible. Mets have some upside here. Again, probably going to be more so of a bullpen game for the Dodgers, which that Dodgers bullpen is really good. Talked about it earlier. Mets always have upside. Francisco Lindor had another leadoff home run last night. I think that's his 5th leadoff home run or something like that to this season so far. Dodgers side, though, against McGill, you want to play the Dodgers when they're unowned. I mean, you're seeing Ohtani coming around 10%. I mean, the dude always picks up ownership regardless of who he's going against. But a lot of time, I mean, this dude's been 60, 70% owned on some big slates before. What are you going to do here with the Dodgers side and the Mets side here to round up the slate?
Yeah, I wanted to like the Dodgers a little more than I do. I mean, I like the Dodgers tonight, especially getting my man Mookie back. Who doesn't like Mookie? But I mean, McGill's, I mean, he's pretty good. I mean, but he gets in trouble with some walks at times. He's got 15% walk rate to lefties, 8% to righties. I mean, that can get him in trouble really quick. But low fly ball percentage, kind of a mid ground ball, more so to the righties. But, I mean, we know this Dodger lineup is loaded up and down. Like you mentioned, you're going to get Ohtani, Mookie, and all these guys really low owned today. So, with that being said, I do like the Dodgers. But I mean, hey, we know the Dodgers can throw up some runs. We saw what they did to the other New York team, the Yankees, when they rolled in. They put up, 16 or 17 runs on them that one game. But, yeah, I mean, you always can like the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are in that spot. It's a little riskier today. McGill is a really good pitcher. He's, got everything you'd want. I kind of like McGill. I think you can play both sides of that fence here today, but I wouldn't put I put the Dodgers up there in my top of my stacks just because how low owned you're going to get them. You're not going to get too many slates, Nades, that we're going to get the Dodgers probably as low as we're going to get them today.
And the Mets used a bunch of bullpen arms yesterday. Obviously, Blackburn started that game. But, I mean, you're talking majority of their arms in the bullpen threw at least 15 pitches yesterday. The only one who didn't was Jose Butto, right? He threw 7 pitches. All these other guys threw upwards of 20 pitches, right? So you do have a taxed bullpen, and I mean, the Dodgers lineup is just a gauntlet, right? So I do have the Dodgers interest up there a decent amount. Nobody's going to click them. I don't really love picking on McGill. I probably prefer the Yankees if picking between the two, just because of the ballpark, number one, and I think the matchup's a little bit better for the Yankees in general. But Dodgers are definitely pretty sneaky in general overall, especially at this ownership. I mean, not too many slates do you get the Dodgers sub 5% owned on a slate against the tax bullpen. I get it. Mets are a solid team in general, pretty solid bullpen overall. But when those arms get tired, they start leaving pitches over the heart of the plate more, and things can go south in a hurry. Gyiraszin, we talked an hour and 12 minutes breaking down the slate. It was a monster one. Let's round it out with you already gave some home run calls, but give kind of your 2 favorite pitchers, your favorite stack, a cheaper, like a sneakier stack, and then a home run call or 2.
Yeah, Justin. Kirby is pitching this ball. If I said Kirby against the Dodgers, whatever, who else probably having a brain fart? But either way, I mean, favorite pitchers, like I said, I think Rodon is up there. I think he's definitely somebody that I'm going to want to play. I think Strider is a little interesting here tonight. I think pitching is tough. I mean, it's really tough today. But I think I got Green, Rodon, Strider, and then I'd probably look at like a Bello, Kikuchi. I don't mind McGill either. Rasmussen I'd probably have down a little bit further. But, I think pitching's definitely interesting. But Rodon for me is probably about the only safe guy I'd look at. As far as stacks, I do have the Tigers number 1. I like the Tigers lefties first. As I said, the Twins grade out very, very good, highest team total. I'm just going to take a stand today and fade it. But I do think the Phillies lefties are definitely interesting here tonight. I like the Yankees a little bit here tonight. I think the Dodgers are interesting. But for me, I think the Tigers and Phillies are what I'm going to probably be looking at here tonight. But, like I said, we got a few good pitchers that have some bad matchups. And I got a feeling one of them good pitchers is going to get beat up and probably may lead to the winner just because it'll be pretty low owned.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. Talked about pitching earlier. I think Freddie Peralta is a really good play at the projected ownership. I really like Rodon at the top. Those are 2 guys that I like quite a bit. I like Kikuchi and Bello in that same game there as well. My home run call, I'm going against Hunter Green. I'm playing the other side. I'm going to do one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball. Yelich hitting 3rd here tonight. I think he keeps the hot streak going. I like the lefty power against Hunter Green. I like the Brewers in general. Stolen base upside as well. Yelich will run for sure. I think Christian Yelich keeps it rolling. My favorite stack on the slate is going to be the Twins. I like the Braves quite a bit as well. I'm with you on the Tigers and the Yankees too. And then the Cards are another team that I'm looking at that not many people I think at all are going to any of the Cardinals. I'm with you on the Phillies too. So that's going to do it for the show. Appreciate everyone tuning in. It is a big slate, big ass slate, as our guy Keith Vape says in the chat. Appreciate all the interaction and all the comments. We can't do these shows without you guys. We do them for you. That's why we keep them free. If you guys are not a member yet and you want access to the Stone, which you see up in here, you want access to SaberSim, head over, use that promo code DGen75 if you have not used it already. Gets you $75 off your first month. If you have not, use that $129. You get all access to SaberSim, get all of our projections, all of SaberSim, and all of our premium content for all sports for $129 a month. Gives you access to build 500 teams, gives you access to review any player in any of the lobbies on the DraftKings or FanDuel side to review and check out their player pools using SaberSim, using check out their exposure, etc. Lineup study is a huge piece of my process, huge piece to a lot of players' process out there. So huge Huge addition there, right, with the SaberSim partnership. So that's going to do it, though. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton. For Gyiraszin, I'm Nades. Good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see that SHIPIT Nation logo at the top for 150 big stacks in that 111. Good luck tonight. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.